We'd like to thank Montecito Bank and Trust for their generous support in making Scam Squad possible. I'm Patty Teal.
And I'm Deputy District Attorney Vicki Johnson. Scam Squad is up next.
Sound off.
1, 2.
Sound off.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Scam Squad.
Welcome to Scam Squad. I'm your host, Patty Teal, here as always with Deputy District Attorney Vicki Johnson, who always has news to share about scams, and they are never ending. What do you have for us today, Vicki?
Hi, Patty. Well, we've talked before about scammers are always coming up with new ways to con us, and I try my best to keep up to date with the new cons and scams that are happening out there so that I can warn our listeners. But just recently, I came upon an article in my favorite magazine, AARP, that had a whole list of cons that I just didn't know about.
Well, those scammers, they are just so clever and coming up with new ways. I mean, I always have the thought, man, if they use this for good, they could really make something of themselves, but they don't a lot of times.
They do not. So one of the scams that they talked about is something that we've touched on before, but apparently it's becoming a lot more common, and I now have more details about how it works, and it's called the Oops, Wrong Number scam.
Right, I do remember you mentioning that one. How does it work?
Well, you might get a text message on your email or on your phone addressed to somebody else, and it seems to be something urgent, maybe rescheduling a business meeting or a doctor's appointment, something about an illness or arranging a date night, something that seems a little bit urgent. And since you're a helpful person, you text back, sorry, wrong number. Then the scammer, or maybe even a chat bot, Patty, they even have robots that can talk to us now and carry on a conversation. Anyway, somebody keeps up this very friendly text, and eventually, once they've sort of got you sucked in, they might try and lure you to an adult website to see some revealing pictures. And of course, you need to hand over your credit card or information about your money in order to get on this website. Or they might just try and befriend you and then come up with some sort of sob story about how they need money for some kind of emergency.
So I guess what you should do is simply not respond to this kind of text and delete them as soon as you can.
That's exactly right. And also don't click on any links in the message. Or if you see a message that says stop, if you want to stop these texts coming in, don't click on the stop. Just block the phone number that it came from. Another scam warning had to do with the crypto refund swindle. And I know we've talked about refund swindles before, but here's how this one works. If you've lost money to a crypto scam, you might be approached by a refund and recovery company. That's what they're calling themselves. But they're actually fake websites, including one that looks like it comes from the U.S. Department of State. So that's a little disconcerting. If you contact these companies, they will ask you for all kinds of personal information. And of course, they'll want a fee for their services to get your money back. And they want you to pay it by gift card or cryptocurrency or wire transfer. So we know those are the three big red flags that you're dealing with a scammer. So of course, if you give them the personal information and you pay the fee, now they have everything they need to steal your identity, and they've also stolen your money. And by the way, you won't be getting a refund. So as it happens, long ago, I spoke to a victim of this scam who lost a lot of money, a lot of her retirement savings, to a cryptocurrency scam. And she was desperate to get her money back, and she was approached by one of these, quote, refund companies, which was a scam. But she was so desperate because she'd lost so much money that she refused to believe me when I tried to convince her that she was getting scammed again. And that's how convincing these scammers can be. A little scary.
That's terrible for her to have been scammed twice. And just what comes to mind too, I wonder if some of these people actually weren't scammed by crypto. They could have been, of course, but maybe some of them just lost money, just as if you lost in the stock market, because it goes down and up, but mostly down lately in this market. So I guess we shouldn't trust anyone who says they can get our cryptocurrency back.
That's right, Patty. For the most part, once the money is gone, it's gone. I have heard of some governmental agencies who've been able to trace the money through various crypto accounts, but that's only if the scam is reported immediately. And now, Patty, the scammers have taken this return money scam to a whole new level. Apparently, once they've taken your money, they will promise to return it if you make a testimonial video for them saying that you've actually made money in this fraud and that it's not a fraud, it's real and trustworthy. Now, these are often either investment or sweepstakes scams where they try and get you to make this testimonial video.
That is unbelievable. So they want to take the victim and have him scam someone else so that they can also become potential victims. Gosh, and I'm guessing once you make the video, you still don't get your money back.
Oh no, these people are scammers to the core. Once you've done the video, you've been scammed again and you will never hear from them again. They have got your money. So here's another scam that I didn't know anything about. It's the fake high school sports streaming site.
Yeah, we did talk about that on the BBB some time back. So I have heard of it, and I can see how it's a big draw for relatives and friends to want to watch their children, nieces, nephews, play their games online. So I can understand why they'd be drawn in.
Absolutely. Apparently, there's a lot of sports fans out there who want to see their kids play. And there are legitimate sites that let you do this, but now scam streaming apps are flooding social media before different events. And they post messages about the streaming, and they mention specifics about the game and including the names of players. So it seems very legitimate. However, at game time, you'll click on the link, enter your credit card number, and you will never see the action. The site was a scam.
Gosh, how disappointing. Not only are you disappointed because you don't get to see the game, but you've given away your personal information and your financial information. How can you protect yourself?
Well, the suggestion is that you check with the high school itself before the game and ask how you can stream it. So that makes good sense. In other words, don't trust social media. We know the scammers are out there on social media and they're using it for ill purposes.
Yeah, good advice. Any other new scams to share?
Yeah, a couple more. And this is another one I had not heard of. This is the out of stock item scam. So scammers apparently will place fake ads on social media sites for products at a price that, of course, is too good to be true. So you call up because you're intrigued. They'll take your order and all your payment information. And then once they have that, they'll wait a little bit of time and then they'll tell you that the item is not available, but they will promise to refund your money.
And let me guess, that refund never comes. So how do you know not to purchase something on one of those sites? Vicki, how do you avoid that?
Well, the suggestion is to research the businesses online before you buy, and then only shop on secure websites that have that lock symbol in the browser bar and that have an internet address that begins with HTTPS. And I think the S has something to do with security. Also, pay by credit card, because that way you will be able to get some of your money back if it turns out that it was a scam. And of course, as we always say, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
I hate that about life.
No, me too. And finally, the I've got your package scam. And again, this is a new one on me.
And how does that one work?
Well, you'll get a text or a phone call from a very professional sounding delivery driver who just can't seem to find your home. If you say that you didn't order anything online, that they will tell you, well, this is a gift, so you wouldn't have known about it.
And what are they after?
Well, their goal is once again to get you to provide all kinds of personal information or to click on a link so that they can load malware on your computer, which allows them to get hold of your passwords and your account information. And they will ask for all kinds of personal information in order to apparently help them find you to deliver this package.
So what should you do if you get one of these calls or texts?
Well, you'll contact the seller, the person that supposedly the gift came from or the company that the gift came from. Contact that individual or that entity directly and not the number the scammer is giving you.
Good advice. Good advice. It's always scary to give someone your address too. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like they're actually coming to your house, but it would be scary just the thought that they have your address.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you just don't want to be giving out random information to random people that you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Vicki, those are a lot of scams for us to be aware of. Tell me, you've got some good news.
I do have some good news, and this is from the Federal Trade Commission, and I love this headline. Federal Trade Commission returns more than $1.1 million to consumers. And this was to compensate consumers who were defrauded by the deceptive free trial offers. And we know what this is. The free trial offer in this particular instance was for tooth whiteners and other products that came from a company called Rev Mountain LLC. And apparently what they would do is offer a free trial for just a small little fee. But so you had to give your financial information because they were going to take this fee out of your credit card, small fee just for a one-time free trial. But what they were actually doing was signing you up for $200 a month, over and over and over, month after month after month, until you figured out what was going on and what they were taking out of your credit card and decided to cancel the product. So it says consumers who believed they had bought a single trial product for about $5 were charged without their knowledge approximately $200 a month until they canceled the subscription. So,
well, Vicki, I think I've shared before, I have fallen for that scam before, not for the tooth whitener. I think it was some sort of diet/nutrition supplement. And, it took me a while to catch on. And then when I tried to get a refund, there was no way they were going to give it to me. And it ended up I had to cancel my whole checking account and start over. So it was a big pain and I never did get refunded. Although you mentioned that there was a judgment and maybe if I had been better about following through, maybe I could have gotten something. But you have to be so careful with these trial offers where you think you're getting something free or at a very small price.
And most of us just don't want to read the fine print. I mean, I don't.
No, it's so
it goes on
long.
for pages and pages and pages and pages. And who wants to read that over on your phone or even your computer? It will take you hours. And so that's how they get you somewhere buried in that fine print, very obscurely, is the fact that you've signed up for a month to month to month.
Right. Now, I wonder, Vicki, if you know the people that fell for that and got charged that, do they have to be a part of a class action suit or something, or do they automatically get refunded?
Well, what you can do is go to the FTC, Federal Trade Commission website. And apparently there is a site on the Federal Trade Commission website that will lead you to refunds. So I would go to FTC refunds to consumers. I think that's the best way to get there. It doesn't tell me specifically on this Federal Trade Commission bulletin how to get there, but I think that would be the way to go.
Yeah, good advice. I really appreciate it. So, Vicki, we always love to have people tell their stories if they have been a victim, sadly, but they want to share their story and have some good come from it to warn others. How would they get a hold of you?
Okay, so my direct line to my office is area code 805-568-2442. And again, 805-568-2442. And please call. I do welcome your calls.
Thank you so much, Vicki. Have a great week. Talk next week.
Thank you. You too.